Hello, whoever's watching right now. I didn't actually know it was going. That's why there is an awkward moment there. Um, it's about 5:30 on November 4th. Yeah. So I have three separate things I need to cover in this video. And first I'm going to cover some stuff about part one of my project. Um, Part one, for whoever's been following my blog, was about a lot of stuff, but the last thing I talked about was Maddie and I going to talk to the Parks Department. I'm gonna move that light. Yeah, that's better. Well, we finally did that. We did that on Wednesday, actually, so two days ago, and it was really interesting. And Bill McKinney, who we did get to talk to, and Lisa Ritchie, I think that was her name, we also talked to. They are really great people, and they have this plethora, for lack of a better word, of knowledge. And wow, it was amazing to hear Bill talk about like St. Joseph and about how we have all this rich history. And I mean, like, okay, the Indians used to come here back in the old days before there were any of us white people here. They used to go to the bluffs by the river because the Missouri River was like a highway, right? Because they had their water highways. And the bluffs, they have like what they call lush soil or lush vegetation, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. It's some special kind of soil, and it's really, it makes the plants grow a lot. It's really lush. I mean, that's what it's called. Um, so they were really fascinated by that, and they came here. And Sunbridge Hills, the conservation area that Maddie and I have, gone to a couple times, was actually called Sunbridge because apparently there's a certain spot up on that bluff that if you stand there and watch the sunset, at a certain time, the sun will hit over the water just right to where it looks like there's a bridge going like to heaven. And so Indians from all over, Native Americans, would come to Native Americans, better term than Indians actually, but okay, they would all come from all over the United States, and they would come to here, St. Joe. I mean, it wasn't St. Joe at the time, but they came here because they believed that if your soul, um, if your soul didn't go onto this like this bridge, then you would wander the earth and fall into hell. So like there is evidence, of many different groups of Native Americans coming here and who wanted to be, buried here or however they dispose of their bodies. And so that, that's not important in my project, except for the fact that it opened my eyes a lot to St. Joe more, than it had been. And, it's amazing, like, what's here in St. Joe, and like who knew, and Bill talked about that, and he talked about how people just don't have this pride, like they have this sense of, oh, St. Joe, like, and they don't seem to care, but if they just knew, there's so much cool stuff. Lisa talked about the KKK a little bit because we did bring it up, and she said it was probably still active, and she had actually talked to one of the members a few years ago. He wanted to rent the outdoor thing at Krug Park, the outdoor amphitheater, theater, whatever you want to call it, at Krug Park, but the Klan doesn't have insurance. I don't know why, but apparently they cannot get insurance, and you have to have insurance to rent that thing at Krug, so they didn't let him, but it was interesting. Bill didn't really seem to want to talk about it too much, or Mr. McKinney, which I'm okay with, that definitely is not that's not the whole point of it. So just being able to talk to them and see, like, they were both older, people, so it's interesting to see, like, in generations, like, you can tell that, like, elderly, like, seem to care more. Teenagers and like adults, like, you know, they're kind of falling away in turn each generation. They're starting to not care more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and it's sad because there's a lot to learn. So, um, okay, I'm actually going to stop this video and start a new one for my next thing that I need to talk about, because that might be easier. The other thing, oh, part two, more plans. I have more plans, so that's gonna be part two. So see you in just a sec.